Konnichiwa minasan, Nihongo no gakusei desu. In this lesson, we will learn one of the functions of particle to, which is translated in English as whenever. For example, we have this sentence, Watashi wa sono hito to hanasu to genki ni naru. Whenever I talk with that person, I feel uplifted. Here we have the cause, which is in the predicate, and the effect. Now, the present tense short form of a predicate plus to means whenever the situation described by the predicate holds true, and the predicate is the phrase that is before to. So, if the predicate holds true, another thing happens or is also true. In most to sentences, the first clause describes the cause and the second clause describes the effect. So here we have the cause, sono hito to anasu. So whenever I speak with that person, I feel uplifted. And we have the cause and effect relation. Another, michi ga kondeiru to. So michi ga kondeiru to. Whenever the streets are crowded, jikan ga kakaru. It takes longer time to get there or to that place. Whenever the streets are crowded, it takes longer to get there. So here we have the cause, the predicate, which is the crowded street. So whenever the streets are crowded, this is the cause. The effect is it takes longer to get there. So that is the function of to. So here we have the equation, clause A, to, and clause B. Whenever A happens, B happens too. And in clause A, before to, the verb must be in the short present tense always. So another, Mary-san ga kuni ni kaeru to sabishiku narimasu. If Mary goes back home to her own country, we will be sad and lonely. So sometimes a to sentence describes a cause-effect relationship between specific events. So here we have, if Mary goes back to her country, we will be sad. Miyari-san ga kuni ni kaeru to sabishiku narimasu. And the effect is, of course, sabishiku narimasu. Kodomo toki fuyu ni naru to. When I was young, whenever winter came, I caught a cold. Kaze o hikimashita. So the tense of the last clause determines the tense of the sentence. As you can see here, kaze o hikimashita is in the past tense, and although naru is in the present tense, because the equation is that before to, it must be present casual tense, the determiner of the tense of the sentence is the last verb. So here we have hikimashita. Since hikimashita is in the past tense, all the verbs in the sentence are also in the past tense. Alright? Alright, so let's go back to the first sentence that we have. Watashi wa sono hito to hanasu to genki ni naru. Whenever I talk with that person, I feel uplifted. So the event described by the second clause must follow the event described in the first half of the sentence. So it is wrong to say, Watashi wa sono hito to hanasu to cafe ni ikimasu. This is wrong because the second clause does not follow the event described in the first half of the sentence. It doesn't make sense whenever I speak with that person we go to cafe. It does not follow at all. Instead, we can say, Watashi wa sono hito to hanasu toki cafe ni ikimasu. When I talk to that person, we go to the cafe. So, to must have a sequence of events. So, the second clause must follow the event of the first clause. Here we can instead use toki. when only. When I talk to that person, we go to the cafe. その人と話すとき、カフェに行きます。秋になると木が赤くなります。Whenever fall arrives, the trees turn red. So here we have akaku, an i adjective. It comes from akai, akai. So if we want an adjective idea in the second clause like akai, it is usually expressed as a change. So we have naru, to become. It is very common, therefore, to find in the second clause an i adjective plus kunaru. As you can see here, we drop i and change it with ku and then add narimas, which comes from naru. Akaku naru. So here we have akaku narimas. Yoru ni naru to. Whenever night comes, machi ga shizuka ni narimasu. Whenever night comes, the town becomes quiet. So here we have the na adjective shizuka. Na adjective shizuka. So for na adjective, we add ni naru. Ni naru. So you can see adjective plus naru in lesson 10, part 5 of our grammar series. Yoru ni naru to machi ga shizuka ni narimasu. Okay, so let's practice. So we're basically going to connect these two using the particle to. So here we start with aki ni narimasu and suzushiku narimasu. Fall arrives and it becomes cool. So basically we're going to connect them with to whenever. Okay, so for here, we just change the narimasu into present casual. Aki ni naru to suzushiku narimasu. Whenever fall arrives, it becomes nice and cool. Aki ni naru to suzushiku narimasu. Alright, for the next one. Denki o tsukemasu. Turn the lights on. And its partner is Denki o tsukemasu and akaruku narimasu. From akarui. Denki o tsukeru to akaruku narimasu. Whenever I turn the lights on, it will be brighter. Denki o tsukeru to akaruku narimasu. Whenever you turn the lights on, it becomes bright or brighter. Right, next. Mado akemasu. Mado akemasu. And its partner is mushi ga hairimasu. If you open the window, whenever you open the window, insects enter. How do we do that? Mado akeru to mushi ga hairimasu. Whenever you open the window, insects enter or insects will enter. So akeru, present casual of akemasu. Alright, next. Nihongo hanashimasen. I don't speak Japanese. And its partner is will not be good in Japanese. Nihongo ga jozu ni narimasen. So how do we turn this with to? Nihongo hanasanai to. Nihongo ga jozu ni narimasen. Whenever I don't speak Japanese, I will not be good in Japanese. And it is true. Believe me. Nihongo hanasanai to Nihongo ga jozu ni narimasen. Right, next. Tomodachi kara henji ga kimasen. Don't get reply from my friend. And its partner is fuan ni narimasu. So, I'm worried. Okay, so how do we do that? Tomodachi kara henji ga konai to fuan ni narimasu. Whenever I don't get reply from my friend, I get worried or I become worried. Okay, so kimasen is the present negative polite form and konai is the present negative casual form. Tomodachi kara henji ga konai to fuan ni narimasu. Next, read the book in the dark. So, what happens if you read book in the dark? Your eyes get tired. So here we have kurai dokoro de hon no me ga tsukaremasu. So here we change it to the present negative casual. Kurai dokoro de hon no yomanai to me ga tsukaremasu. Whenever I read a book in the dark, my eyes get tired. Kurai dokoro de hon no yomanai to me ga tsukaremasu. And lastly, we have haru ni naremasu and then sakura ga sakimasu. So whenever spring arrives, cherry blossoms bloom. How do you say that? Haru ni naru to sakura ga sakimasu. Haru ni naru to sakura ga sakimasu. Whenever spring arrives, cherry blossoms blossom. Alright, thank you for listening and watching, and I hope you have learned something.